Very good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you all are doing good. Guys, let's continue our discussion on this overhead topic. In the last part, we have completed some portion of this overhead topic. Basic part we have completed. Now let's complete the remaining part. Before we start with that next part, let's quickly revise last part because it will require in the next questions. So guys, what is your first step of your overhead topic? Step number one, you collect the overhead from past record, accounting entry, bill, invoice, challan. Second one is a classification of the overhead. Second one is a allocation of the overhead, apportionment of the overhead, then reapportionment of the overhead. Please tell me which are the three methods of reapportionment of overhead. We have seen three type of that reapportionment. If service department gives service only and only to production department, then it is a direct method. If service department gives service to production department as well as service department, then you will have to check whether it is a reciprocal or non-reciprocal. If one service department gives service to second one, second also gives to first one, it will be treated as a reciprocal. Under reciprocal, three methods are there: simultaneous equation method, trial and error method, and repeated distribution method. If in exam nothing given, then simultaneous equation method will give you quick answer. So always follow that simultaneous equation method. After that, if non-reciprocal is there, in that situation, step ladder method or step down method is to be applied. Under step ladder method, you'll have to first assign, you'll have to first reapportion overhead of that service department which give maximum service to other service department. So you'll have to follow that sequence. After that, you will calculate overhead absorption rate. There are 6 overhead absorption rate. In all the rate, numerator is common. Remember one important line: overhead absorption rate is nothing but predetermined rate. It is calculated in advance. It is calculated in advance. So it is called as a predetermined rate. So overhead absorption rate formula is very simple. There are 6 rate: machine hour rate, labor hour rate, unit rate, percentage of material, percentage of labor, percentage of prime cost. In all these formula, numerator is common, budgeted overheads. So if you want to follow that machine hour rate formula, then budgeted overheads divided by budgeted machine hours. Labor hour rate, budgeted overheads divided by budgeted labor hours. Unit rate, budgeted overheads divided by budgeted output. Percentage of material, budgeted overheads upon budgeted material cost into 100. Percentage of labor, budgeted overheads upon budgeted labor cost into 100. Percentage of prime cost, budgeted overheads upon prime cost multiplied by 100. So this is how you calculate overhead absorption rate. This is also called as a predetermined rate. Next part, after that predetermined rate, guys, what you will do, with the help of this predetermined rate, you will absorb the overhead. You will absorb the overhead, you will recover the overhead from the customer. I'll take one very important example, very simple example to understand, to make a summary of this. Now, boys and girls, if I tell you your budgeted overheads, suppose rent is given in the question, budgeted overhead is 1 lakh divided by budgeted output. Budgeted output is given 10,000. How much is your overhead absorption rate? How much is your predetermined rate? Budgeted overheads upon budgeted output is your predetermined rate. Your predetermined rate is 10 rupees per unit, correct guys? Then what is the use of that predetermined rate, sir? This predetermined rate will be used to recover the overhead, to absorb the overhead. So in the next month, suppose in the next month, on a first day, you produce 100 units. So overhead absorb will be 100 multiplied by 10, 1000 rupees. On the second day of that month, you produce 200 units. So 200 multiplied by 10, 2000 rupees will be overhead absorbed. Suppose on the third day, you produce 500 units, then 500 multiplied by 10, your total overhead absorb will be 5000. So during the period, every day you will produce, every day overhead will be absorbed, overhead will be recovered from the customer. Now, what you'll have to do after the end of the month or after the end of that budget period, you'll have to compare how much overhead is absorbed by you. How much overhead is absorbed by you? How much overhead is recovered from the customer? How much overhead is charged to the cost sheet? So you will check, Sarji, in that month total how many units produced by you. Now everyone please concentrate. After the end of the month, you have decided and you have produced, say for example, 9,500 units in all. In all that 30 days, 31 days, 9,500 units you have produced. What is your predetermined rate? Your predetermined rate was 10 rupees per unit. Now what you will do, simply overhead absorption is equal to 9,500 multiplied by 10. Sarji, 95,000 will be your overhead absorbed. Now please tell me, this is rent. I have taken the example of the rent. Rent is 1 lakh rupees. But as you produce only 9,500 units, so 9,500 into 10, 95,000 will be overhead absorbed, overhead recovered, etc. Now compare this overhead absorbed with actual overhead incurred. Now you tell me how much rent you will pay. Will you pay 95,000 rent to the owner, or you will have to pay 1 lakh rupees rent to the owner? What is your conclusion, sir? Actual payment will be 1 lakh, yes or no? Now please tell me whether there is a under absorption of the overhead or there is a over absorption of overhead. Don't mug up the concept. Just focus on the wording. Under absorption means absorption is less. Over absorption means absorption is more. So check, Sirji. Overhead absorbed is 95,000. Overhead incurred is 1 lakh. So you can check that this is a perfect situation of under absorption of overhead. Correct? Yes, sir. How much is under absorption, guys? Is it 5,000? Let's say, for example, in this month you have not produced 9,500 units. You have produced, say for example, 11,000 units. Actual customer came and you sold 11,000 units. You produced 11,000 units. Now please tell me how much will be the overhead absorbed from that customer, from that cost sheet. 11,000 units multiplied by, is it 10 rupees? Your answer comes to, is it 1,10,000? But the rent which you are going to pay to the owner of the factory, is it 1 lakh rupees only? So actual overhead incurred is 1 lakh. Overhead absorbed is 1,10,000. Now you tell me, this is a situation of under absorption or over absorption. I told you to focus on the wording. Over absorption. If absorption figure is more, it is called as over absorption. If absorption figure is less, it is called as a under absorption. Correct, guys? So tell me, sir, 10,000 rupees is under absorption or 10,000 rupees is over absorption? Fast answer, sir. Online student, I am also checking your answer. Tell me, sir. Under absorption or over absorption? Okay, over absorption. If absorption figure is more, then it is called as the over absorption. Now, why this under absorption, over absorption happens, Sirji? This basic should be clear in your mind. Why under absorption, over absorption happen? So answer is, what is this 10 rupees? Please tell me, what is this 10 rupees? What I told you about this 10, it is a predetermined rate. Predetermined rate means, Sarji, before the start of the month, you have calculated that rate, and you can check numerator is also budgeted and denominator is also budgeted. Yes or no? You are just predicting your overhead. You are just predicting your output. So, Sarji, actual overhead may or may not equal to budgeted overhead, or actual output may not equal to budgeted output. Because of this, your under absorption, over absorption happens. So, Sarji, tell me, what is the formula of under absorption? I am waiting for you. What is the formula for under absorption? If you want to find amount of that under absorption, which figure minus which figure is equal to under absorption? Tell me quickly. Overhead incurred minus overhead absorbed. And over absorption means overhead absorbed minus overhead incurred. Next part. Saji, under absorption, over absorption, next part will be, you'll have to find the reason of that under absorption oblique over absorption. If the reason of under absorption, over absorption is because of abnormal reasons, like, remember the wordings, or under absorption, over absorption because of abnormal reasons are lack of planning, defective planning, lack of coordination, inefficiency of the worker. These are all abnormal reasons. You'll have to remember these names. Lack of production planning, lack of coordination, defective planning, efficiency or inefficiency of the worker. These are all abnormal reasons. If under absorption, over absorption happens because of abnormal reason, directly transfer that amount to costing profit and loss account. Suppose in our example, under absorption is 5,000. Suppose in our example 1, under absorption is 5,000 and it is given in the question 60% of the under absorption was due to defective production planning. 60% is due to inefficiency of the worker. 60% is due to lack of coordination between the worker. In such a situation, 5,000 into 60%, your answer comes to 3,000. These 3,000 straight away you'll have to transfer to costing, profit and loss account. Next one. Then second part is your normal reasons. So the normal reason, what they will give in examination, normal reason are, they will write in the examination, remaining 40% of under absorption is because of normal increase in material cost, normal increase in labor cost, normal increase in overhead, etc. So if it is given that cost is increased, but usual surgery, cost will increase surgery, cost may or may not equal to your budgeted, it may increase. So if your cost is increased, it is a normal reason. And if under absorption, over absorption happens because of normal reasons, you will calculate supplementary rate. You will calculate supplementary rate. And for supplementary rate, three things are very important. Remember my wording, only three things are very important. First thing, closing stock of work in progress. Second thing, closing stock of finished goods. And third thing, units sold. And the third thing is units sold. Everyone now please concentrate here. Everyone please concentrate here. Say for example, Sarji, your overhead incurred is 1 lakh rupees. Overhead absorbed is 80,000. Kindly tell me how much is under absorption. Quick answer is expected from all of you. Boys and girls, under absorption is 20,000. Perfect, guys? And it is given in the question. It is given in the question. Sarji, 25% of, or I'll take a round figure, 40% of under absorption is due to abnormal reason. Quickly tell me what you will do. How much amount you will transfer to costing, profit and loss account? 20,000 multiplied by 40%. Prabhu, is it 8,000 directly transferred to costing, profit and loss account? And they have given next part. Remaining 60% is due to normal increase in material cost, indirect material cost, normal increase in indirect labor cost, normal increase in overhead. So, Sarji, for that 60%, 20,000 into 60%, is it 12,000, Prabhu? For the 12,000, you will calculate supplementary rate. I told you, while calculating supplementary rate, three things are really important. Which three things are really important? Kindly tell me, Sarji. First, closing stock of WIP. Second one, closing stock of finished goods. And third one, units sold. Third one, units sold. Closing stock of work in progress given in a question, suppose 10,000. And additional line is given, closing stock of work in progress is only 50% complete only, sir. Only 50% complete. Then closing stock of finished goods is suppose 5,000. I'll take, yes, sir, 5,000. Okay. And units sold are suppose 10,000 units sold by you. How many units sold by you? 10,000. Now tell me how much is the equivalent units. You'll have to calculate for supplementary rate. You'll have to calculate equivalent units. So tell me how much is a closing stock of WIP equivalent unit. Is it 5,000, sir? Why 5,000? 10,000, only 50% complete. You'll have to consider 5,000. Closing stock of finished goods 5,000 and units sold is 10,000. So equivalent units is 20,000. Correct, sir? What is the under absorption because of the normal reason? Because of the normal reason, under absorption is, I think so, 12,000. Correct? Now, what is that supplementary rate? 12,000 divided by 20,000. Is it 0.6 rupees per unit is a supplementary rate? Correct, guys? The supplementary rate will be multiplied by number of units, Sarji. Now, simply, because of under absorption, you have taken the less cost. So, remember, if under absorption is there, you will have to increase the value of closing stock of WIP. You'll have to increase the value of closing stock of finished goods. You'll have to increase the value. Sir, sale value cannot be increased. What I told you, sir? Sales value cannot be increased because sale is already over. Customer taken the goods, customer went, customer used that goods. Sarji, you cannot inform that a person that under absorption is there, you will have to pay more sales. No, 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 no. He will not pay anything more. So, Sarji, you will have to increase your only cost of sales. So, how many equivalent units of closing stock of WIP? Is it 5,000 multiplied by 0.6? Increase the closing stock of WIP by 3,000 rupees. Correct, hai, Prabhu? Again, closing stock of finished goods 5,000 multiplied by 0.6 is equal to 3,000. Units sold by you are 10,000. 10,000 multiplied by 0.6, your answer comes to 6,000. You can check that whether 12,000 is completed, Sarji. Okay, is it clear to every one of you? Now, what institute will make you to solve this question wrong? Let's see, guys. Very interesting, very important part. In the question, they will be given, Saji, one table they will give. Which two information is written here, Saji? Production of the finished goods and work in progress, closing stock of work in progress, sales of the finished goods. Now, Saji, production of the finished goods is 20,000, sale of the finished goods is 18,000, closing stock of work in progress is 10,000, and which is 50% complete. Which is 50% complete. Now, you yourself take a calculator and tell me how much will be the equivalent units. In equivalent units, we will consider three figures. First will be closing stock of WIP, closing stock of finished goods, and units sold. Now, you calculate and tell me how much will be your equivalent units. First answer is expected from all of you. Because here most of the students make the mistake in examination, and this is the favorite adjustment of the institute. Yes, sir. They will prepare must table. They'll prepare a table like this. Yes, sir. Ji. I want answer, sir. Ji. You have to calculate and tell me what will be the answer. Some online students are giving answer. I think so. 20,000, 20,000, 8,000. They are giving answer. I don't know whether it is previous question answer or this question answer. Yes, sir. Huh. I'm waiting for you. Yes. How much is the equivalent units? 20? Are you sure 25,000? Your answer is absolutely correct. Online student also is giving me 25,000 answer. Ekta, Naksha, Suketha, Sudhir. Everyone is giving me correct answer. 25,000. How 25,000? Please tell me how much is closing stock of WIP. Closing stock of WIP will be 10,000 multiplied by 50%. Is it 5,000, guys? Here, most of the students make the mistake. Closing stock of finished goods. Wrongly, they write 20,000. Wrongly, they write 20,000. No, Sarji. This is not a closing stock of finished goods. Read it carefully. This is a production of finished goods. Yes or no? So you have produced 20,000, out of which you sold 18,000. So closing stock of finished goods is 2,000. Perfect, guys? Hai na? And next one, units sold. Units sold will be 18,000. So in all, equivalent units will be, is it 25,000? Correct, guys? So remember, guys, boys and girls, if they give production quantity of finished goods, so this is not a closing stock of finished goods. This is just your production quantity. Okay. Less sales quantity, it will be closing stock of finished goods. Next. Okay. After that, everyone please concentrate. Next important, interesting part, which will be asked in almost every question. Sir, they will give overhead incurred. They will give you overhead incurred, suppose 5 lakh rupees. Overhead actually incurred is 5 lakh rupees, and they will write there. In that overhead, some items are included. Which items are included? First one, prior period expenses booked in the current year. Prior period expenses booked in the current year, 20,000. Second one, award payable to the worker during the strike period, 10,000. Next one, award payable to the worker as per the court order, 20,000. Next adjustment, deterioration and obsolescence of the material written off, 5,000. Next adjustment, they will give income tax 15,000. They'll give one more adjustment in that, and next adjustment will be penalty and fine pay 5,000 rupees. Penalty and fine paid 5,000 rupees. And one more adjustment we have seen in very important question. Current year expenses not yet accounted. Current year expenses not yet accounted 15,000. Now, Sarji, what do you think, Sarji? All these items are normal items or all these items are extraordinary item? I'll not say abnormal item. It is an extraordinary item. Yes or no? Every year these expenses will not be incurred. So remember the name of all these examples. Except last one, everything will be deducted from the overhead incurred. Everything is deducted. Which are those items? Tell me, Sarji. Prior period item booked in the current year. Award payable to the worker during the strike period. Award payable to the worker as per the court order. Deterioration and obsolescence stock written off. Income tax provided. Penalty. These are all extraordinary items. Directly deduct these from the overhead incurred. And what you will do about these current year expenses not yet accounted for? What you'll do, sir? The current year expenses not yet accounted for. So these are the expenses of the current year, but you fail to record these in 5 lakh rupees. So you'll have to add the last one. Tell me how much will be your net overhead incurred? Fast answer, sir. How much will be the net overhead incurred? 4 lakhs? 4 lakh 40,000 something. You can check the answer. So net overhead incurred will be 4 lakhs 40,000. So remember this adjustment. Then actual overhead incurred, actual overhead incurred is 4 lakh 40,000 suppose, and overhead absorbed, and overhead absorbed. Prabhu, for overhead absorption rate is given in the question 8 rupees, 8 rupees per labor hour is your rate, and company use 40,000 labor hours actually during that period. 40,000 labor hours during that period. So please tell me how much will be the overhead absorbed. 8 rupees per hour multiplied by 40,000 hours. Is it 3 lakh 20,000? So take, Surgery, take 50,000 hours. It will be round figure now. Huh. Is it 4 lakh, guys? Now tell me, under absorption or over absorption? Fast answer. Under absorption or over absorption, sir? Overhead incurred 4 lakh 40,000. Absorption is 4 lakhs. Under absorption or over absorption? Under absorption. How much under absorption, Surgery? 40,000. Then you will check the reason. If it is given 60% because of abnormal reason, then what you will do? Transfer to P&L account. 24,000 will directly transfer to P&L account. Arey, haya na? And next, for remaining, normal increase in material cost, normal increase in labor cost, normal increase in overhead. So you will calculate supplementary rate. Perfect, guys. Now you'll have to solve immediately one question on these. Then we will move ahead. Everyone please come to one question and guide me in that question. In a manufacturing unit, overhead are recovered at a predetermined rate of 20 rupees per labor hour. What is that predetermined rate, Prabhu? 20 rupees per labor hour, predetermined rate. What you will do about that 20 rupees? 20 will be multiplied by what? 20 will be multiplied by actual hours. Predetermined rate is 20 rupees. Multiply with the actual hour, you will absorb the overhead. Total factory overhead paid and the labor hours actually worked were 45 lakhs and 2 lakhs labor hours respectively. During this period, 30,000 units were sold. At the end of the period, 5,000 units were held in stock. There was no opening stock of finished goods. Similarly, though there was no stock of uncompleted units at the beginning of the period, at the end of the period, there were 10,000 uncompleted units, which may be reckoned at 50% complete. The cost accountant was able to obtain the following other information. Yes, sir. 1,25,000 paid for the worker during the strike period, 25,000 penalty, 40,000 obsolete stores written off, 10,000 paid towards the consumable relating to the prior period, 2 lakh of the factory overhead, most important, 2 lakh of the factory overhead of the period was still payable and not yet accounted in the books of accounts. So current year expenses not yet accounted. On analyzing the reason, it was found that 60% of unabsorbed of overhead was due to defective planning. So where 60% will go? Costing profit and loss account, abnormal reason. And remaining rest attributable to increase in overhead cost. So supplementary rate you are going to calculate. How would unabsorbed overhead will be treated in cost accounting? How to treat that unabsorption of overhead? Sir, how much is actual overhead incurred? Read quickly, Sirji. How much is actual overhead incurred? Is it 45 lakhs? And what you will do about all this adjustment? You will add or you will deduct all this adjustment. Except last one, all adjustment will be deducted. Correct, guys? So tell me, how much actual overhead incurred are? Is it 45 lakhs? Less. Paid to the worker during the strike period. Is it 1,25,000? Next one, Sarji, next item is given 25,000 penalty. Abnormal item, deduct the 25,000 as well. Next item is given 40,000 obsolete stores written off. Next, you can check 10,000 paid towards the consumable relating to the prior period. Prior period item book in the current year 10,000 less. But the 2 lakh is your current year expenses yet to be accounted. You forget to account, so you'll have to add that 2 lakh rupees. Now, please tell me how much will be the current year expenses? Yes, Sirji. Current year expenses, Sirji. Net overhead incurred. Sorry. Net overhead incurred. I think so it is 45 lakhs only. If you can check that. Is it 45 lakhs? Now you will absorb the overhead. Remember, for absorption of the overhead, two things required. Fit this in your mind. For absorption of overhead, two things required. Predetermined rate and actual labor hours, actual machine hours, actual output, actual material cost, actual labor cost, actual prime cost, depending on overhead rate. So if your overhead rate is machine hour rate, then machine hour rate multiplied by actual machine hours. Labor hour rate, then labor hour rate multiplied by actual labor hours. Unit rate, then unit rate multiplied by actual production, and so on. So in this question, I think so 20 rupees is overhead rate per labor hour. And how many labor hours are given in the question, Sarji? They have given for two, I think so 20,000, 2 lakhs. Okay, Sarji. They are 2 lakhs. So 2 lakhs multiplied by, Sarji, 20, is it 40 lakhs? Now under absorption comes to 5 lakhs. Perfect, guys? Now on analyzing of the reason, it was found that 60% of unabsorption of overhead was due to defective planning. So 60% will directly transfer to costing profit and loss account. 5 lakh multiplied by 60%, your answer comes to, is it 3 lakh rupees? Direct transfer to costing profit and loss account. For 40% of under absorption, which is because of normal increase in cost, you will have to calculate overhead absorption supplementary rate. Now that supplementary rate, you need three things: closing stock of WIP, closing stock of finished goods, and units sold. Calculate, read and calculate, Sarji. A closing stock of finished goods is given 5,000 plus, Sarji, 10,000 closing stock of work in progress given, which is 50% complete, again 5,000 plus number of units sold given in the question 30,000 units sold. So is it 40,000 are equivalent units? Correct, guys? Now we'll write their equivalent units. Closing stock of work in progress 10,000 units multiplied by 50%, it comes to 5,000. Closing stock of finished goods directly given in the question 5,000. And units sold given in the question 30,000. Now if you take the total under absorption is 40, sorry, equivalent units are 40,000. Supplementary rate is equal to under absorption divided by equivalent units. Under absorption, because of the normal reason, sir, normal reason is not 5 lakhs. Normal reason will be 2 lakhs. Correct, sir? Why 2 lakhs? Out of 5 lakhs, 3 lakh directly transferred to costing P&L. Now left 2 lakh. For 2 lakhs, we are calculating supplementary rate. So divided by 40,000, Saji, your rate comes to 5 rupees per unit. Yes or no? Now, in case of under absorption, increase the value of WIP stock, finished goods stock, and cost of sales. So, increase the value of closing stock of WIP, 5 rupees multiplied by 5,000. Increase the value of closing stock of finished goods, 5 multiplied by 5,000. Increase the cost of sales, 5 multiplied by 30,000. Your answer comes to 25,000 in the first scenario, 25,000 in the second scenario, 1,50,000 in the third scenario, total 2 lakhs, and your answer is over. Is it clear to every one of you? Next important part. I will take variety also regarding that under absorption, over absorption. So supplementary rate, first adjustment is over. total under absorption oblique over absorption divided by equivalent units. Now, boys and girls, in the question sometime they will give overhead incurred, they will give overhead absorbed, then they will give closing stock of WIP, but they will give in rupee term. Closing stock of finished goods, they will give in rupee term. COGS they will give, or cost of sales they will give in rupee term. That's it. Only this information is given. Like overhead incurred, boys and girls, overhead incurred is 4 lakhs. Overhead absorbed is 3 lakh 60,000. Closing stock of WIP is suppose 2 lakhs. Closing stock of finished goods is suppose 8 lakhs. And cost of sales is suppose 10 lakhs. Cost of sales is suppose 10 lakhs. Boys and girls, only this information is given. Number of units information is not given. We have seen the formula under absorption divided by equivalent units. Are Prabhu, units are not given, only this information is given. In such a situation, supplementary rate you will have to change. Please tell me how much is the under absorption in this question. First answer is expected, sir. Is it 40,000 is under absorption? Are higher now? 40,000 is your under absorption. Now you'll have to take a total of closing stock of WIP, closing stock of finished goods, and cost of goods sold or cost of sales. Sir, how much is your total of these closing stock of WIP, finished goods, and cost of sale? Is it 20 lakhs? So supplementary rate is equal to under absorption divided by total cost of WIP stock, finished goods stock, and cost of goods sold or cost of sales. Your answer comes to 40,000 divided by 20 lakhs. Prabhu, your answer will come in percentage multiplied by 100%. How much percentage? Is it 2%? In such situation, increase the value of closing stock of WIP. Such closing stock of WIP, you will have to increase the value. So closing stock of WIP, 2% multiplied by 2 lakhs, 2% multiplied by 8 lakhs, and in the third scenario, 2% multiplied by 10 lakhs. Prabhu, your answer comes to, I think so, 4,000. Correct, sir? 16,000 and 20,000. This is how this 40,000 will be recovered. Correct, Prabhu? So second method also we have seen, under absorption oblique over absorption supplementary rate. If quantity not given, then divided by Sarji rupee term of WIP stock, finished goods stock, and cost of goods sold or cost of sales, whatever given in the question. Answer will be in a percentage. And last situation of under absorption oblique over absorption, and that situation is that you have not given closing stock of WIP quantity. No, sir, not given. Closing stock of finished goods quantity, not given. Units sold quantity, not given. And as well as Saji rupee term also not given, like a previous example I told you. So closing stock of WIP, rupees terms not given. Closing stock of finished goods, rupees terms not given. Units sold, rupees terms not given. In such situation, in the question, you will be given labor hours included in closing stock of WIP, suppose 5,000. Labor hours included in closing stock of finished goods, suppose 15,000. Labor hours included in units sold, it is given in the question 20,000. In such situation, supplementary rate will be calculated as follows. Total under absorption divided by total labor hours included in WIP stock, finished goods stock, and unit sold stock. So suppose in the same example, if I continue, 40,000 is your under absorption divided by how many total hours are there? Is it 40,000 hours, sir? 5,000 plus 15,000 plus 20,000, 40,000. So supplementary rate is 1 rupees per hour. Here your rate will be 1 rupees per hour. So multiply 1 with 5,000, 15,000 and 20,000. Increase the value. Sarji, if you check your concept book, so systematically we have written in that concept book. If you can check that, Sarji, treatment of under absorption oblique over absorption. Prabhu, if abnormal reason is there, I have written there abnormal reasons as well, defective planning, lack of coordination, inefficiency, etc. Directly transfer that amount to costing P&L account. If normal reason are there because normal increase in cost of material, labor, etc. In such a situation, you'll have to calculate supplementary rate. Sir, the supplementary rate, you can check 3 supplementary rate I told you. Sir, in the question, Units information is given, units of WIP, units of finished goods stock, and units of sales quantity. Such a situation, equivalent divided by equivalent units, under absorption divided by equivalent units, rate per unit. If in the question rupee term information is given, rupee of WIP, rupee of finished goods, and rupee of cost of goods sold, divided by total rupee, your rate will be in percentage. But if in a question hours are given, then total under absorption divided by total hours in WIP, finished goods, and cost of units sold, Sarji. So rate will be in hours. So all permutation combination I have covered in that under absorption oblique over absorption. I hope so this point is absolutely clear to every one of you. Let's move to the next part. Next part will be online student. Is it clear to every one of you? Reply. Those who are watching live. Yes, sir. Now, next very important concept we'll move to is your capacity concept. Is your capacity concept. There are 5 type of capacity. You'll have to remember that 5 capacity. First one is install capacity. Yes, Ajay. First one is install capacity. Second one is your practical capacity. Third one is your normal capacity. Next one actual capacity and ideal capacity. Full concentration here. Install capacity is also called as, you'll have to remember the name of the install capacity. Install capacity is called as install capacity, theoretical capacity, non-practical capacity, imaginary capacity, rated capacity, unachievable capacity, etc. Sir, remember install capacity, assume there is no idle time. Install capacity, assume there is no idle time. So how to calculate that install capacity? One very simple formula is given. Install capacity is nothing but, suppose if your factory shift is of 8 hours, factory shift is of 8 hours, then install capacity, rated capacity is equal to 8 hours multiplied by 365 days. 2920 is your installed capacity. 2920 will be your install capacity. Remember, Sarji, so many times this adjustment is asked. They will just give you 8 hours per day is a shift. So 8 hours per day multiplied by how many days you will consider, Sarji? 365 days. Without any idle time, you will work, Sarji. Hence, it is called as a non-practical, theoretical, imaginary, unachievable capacity, because no one can work 365 days, as there will be public holiday, as there will be weekly holiday, as there will be maintenance break, as there will be lunch break, tea break, coffee break, refreshment break, etc. So this is also called as an unachievable capacity, rated capacity. Remember the word rated capacity means, rated capacity means the rates given by the machine manufacturer. Suppose manufacturer of the machine, at the time of purchase, you will ask them what is the capacity of that machine. That manufacturer tells you this machine can produce 10,000 units per day, but they will write that star mark, terms and condition applicable. Terms and condition applicable. So rated capacity means the manufacturer inform my machinery capacity is that much. Next one. So the second capacity is a practical capacity. You'll have to remember the name, practically possible capacity. It is around 80 to 90% of the installed capacity. Practical capacity, simple formula fit in your mind. Practical capacity is equal to installed capacity minus normal ideal time. Normal idle time, lunch break, tea break, refreshment break, rest break, machine setup break, supervisor instruction break, normal maintenance of the machine break, time between the two operation, factory gate to the production floor timing required. So all these are normal idle time. Holidays are normal idle time. So Sarji, practical capacity is equal to install capacity minus normal idle time. Now next one is the normal capacity. Sir, in our institute module, same formula is given, concentrate. Same formula is given for the practical capacity, same formula is given for the normal capacity. In practical capacity also they are using all normal idle time to be deducted. In normal capacity also they have given all normal idle time should be deducted. But you'll have to remember, boys and girls, normal capacity is nothing but your average of last 2 to 5 years. This is also called as the average of last 2 to 5 years. One more additional point you'll have to remember. Normal capacity is nothing but average of last 2 to 5 years. Next one. Last capacity is your actual capacity. Actual capacity means capacity which is actually utilized for the actual production. Capacity which is utilized for actual production is called as your actual capacity. How many actual hours is used during that period is called as the actual capacity. Last one, ideal capacity. Please tell me in sequence which one will be the highest capacity, sir? Which one will be the maximum one? Is it installed capacity? After install, it will be practical capacity. Then it will be normal capacity. Then it will be actual capacity. Prabhu, difference between install capacity and actual capacity. Difference between install capacity and actual capacity is called as ideal capacity. Ideal capacity. That ideal capacity will be divided into two part. First part will be normal ideal capacity and second one will be abnormal ideal capacity. Abnormal ideal capacity. Kindly tell me how to calculate normal ideal capacity. I have written, Sarji, how to calculate normal ideal capacity. Install capacity minus normal capacity. And how to calculate abnormal ideal capacity? Normal capacity minus actual capacity is called as a abnormal ideal capacity. Full concentrate here. Most important discussion of this lecture, most important discussion of this lecture, and that point is for overhead absorption rate. Out of this, which capacity is to be used to recover the overhead, to absorb the overhead, to allocate the overhead? Which capacity is to be used? Sorry, to absorption rate, which capacity use, and for actual absorption of overhead, which capacity is to be used for absorption of overhead, for recovery of overhead? You'll have to remember this important discussion, sir. Sir, what I told you overhead absorption rate, what I told you about the overhead absorption rate, one important point you'll have to remember every time. What is the overhead absorption rate? Predetermined rate, budgeted rate. It is a predetermined rate. So for calculation of overhead absorption rate, you will use either normal capacity or practical capacity. What I told you, while calculating predetermined rate, advance rate, you will calculate practical capacity or normal capacity. Now please tell me, for calculation of predetermined rate, why you cannot use actual capacity? Why you cannot use actual capacity? Fast answer, Saji. Because we don't have Brahma Gyan. Predetermined rate will be calculated in advance. Yes or no? In advance, we cannot predict how much will be my actual production. Yes or no? So remember either normal capacity or practical capacity. Now please tell me why not to use that installed capacity while calculating overhead absorption rate. Suppose budgeted overhead divided by budgeted output or budgeted machine hours, etc. Why we are not going to use install capacity? Reason is absolutely simple. Install capacity is imaginary capacity, theoretical capacity, non-practical, non-achievable. Rated capacity, sir. If you use overhead absorption rate with the help of that install capacity, always there will be under absorption of overhead. Always there will be under absorption of overhead because this cannot be achievable, sir. This cannot be achieved. So always there will be under absorption. So one point, make it clear, sir. For calculation of the predetermined rate, which of these capacity you will use? Practical or normal? And for absorption of the overhead, for recovery of the overhead, you'll have to use actual capacity. Like in the previous question, Saji, 20 rupees per hour is your labor hour rate multiplied by actual labor hours 2 lakhs. So remember, for recovery of the overhead, for absorption of the overhead, always absorb the overhead on the basis of actual capacity. Saji, these 2 points you make this clear. Tell me, predetermined rate calculation, which capacity you will use? Normal oblique practical. And for actual absorption of the overhead, for recovery of the overhead from the customer, for allocation of the overhead, you'll have to use actual capacity. Yes, sir. So let's solve one question on this capacity concept. Then we'll go to the next part. We'll see one question. I think so. This question I have given for homework at that time. Okay, in your notes, this question is there. I think so, or I don't remember. Yes, sir. Concentrate here. Yes, sir. This is a new question. Concentrate. Not there in your study material. New question I am taking, so please concentrate. A manufacturing unit produces electronic circuits at the rate of 6 pieces an hour. At the rate of 6 pieces an hour. In 1 hour, 6 pieces you are going to produce. Next one. Unit works in a single shift of 8 hours during the 6 days a week and remain closed for 18 days a year on account of holidays. Average idle hours are 20 for cleaning and maintenance of the equipment against an average output of average annual output of 12,000 pieces during the last 10 years. Actual output achieved during the year is 10,800 pieces. The fixed overhead are 5,40,000. You are required to calculate idle capacity cost on assumption that overhead recovery rate are based on maximum capacity, practical capacity, normal capacity, and actual capacity utilization respectively. Now read question yourself again. Quickly you'll have to tell me how much will be your installed capacity, how much will be your maximum capacity, how much will be your rated capacity. Yes, read question. I'll give you time to think. Yes, sir. Tell me. How much will be your installed capacity? How much will be your maximum capacity? How much will be your rated capacity? Non-achievable capacity? Non-practical capacity? Any answer, guys? Wrong answer. Sir, what I told you. Installed capacity is so simple. Maximum capacity is so simple. What it is, Sirji? Exactly 365 days multiplied by, is it 8 hours a day? Simple as Sirji. How much is your installed capacity, maximum capacity? Is it 2920 hours? Are high na? Next one. Check how much is your practical capacity. Practical capacity is installed capacity, maximum capacity minus normal idle time. So maximum capacity is 2920. Check which are the idle hours, Sirji. Read question, Sirji. Yes, Sirji. Sirji, tell me quickly, Sirji. Fast answer is expected. Suppose 365 days maximum available. Then, Sirji, idle. How many Sundays will be there? Is it 52 Sunday? Why 52 Sunday? 6 days a week only. Less 18 days holidays. Yes or no? Next, average idle hours per month. I will discuss that average idle hours per month later. How many? Yes, Sirji. How many working days are there? Please tell me, sir. How many working days are there? 356 minus 52 minus 18. Is it 286? 356. Shabas Darshan. Good morning. 365 days minus 52 minus 18. Is it 295? Are higher na? 295 multiplied by per day 8 hours, sir ji. So 295 multiplied by 8. Your answer comes to, is it 2360 hours? And maintenance hours, please tell me, read the question and tell me how many maintenance hours are there? 20. But 20 per day, 20 per month, 20 per annum. What it is given, Saji? 20 per month. So 20 multiplied by 12, is it 240 hours gone? So 2360 minus 240. Tell me what will be the answer, guys. 2120. Are you sure, guys? Check the question and quickly tell me what will be your normal capacity. Normal capacity is nothing but average capacity of last few years. It is given in the question, Sarji. Last few year, last 10 year, how many pieces you are going to produce? Is it 12,000 pieces? In 1 hour, how many pieces produce? Read the first line. Read the first line. 6 pieces. Correct, Sarji? So to produce 12,000 pieces, to produce 12,000 pieces divided by 6 pieces, is it 2,000 will be your normal capacity? Actual capacity is capacity which is utilized for actual production. You can check how much is your actual production, guys, boys and girls. In the question it is given your actual production is 10,800 pieces. 10,800 pieces. In 1 hour you produce 6 pieces. So 10,800 divided by 6, is it 1,800? So you have got maximum capacity, practical capacity, normal capacity and actual capacity. Now you'll have to calculate rate. It is given, Sarji. Calculate rate. How much is the maximum capacity? 2920. Practical capacity, how much we have calculated, Sarji? 2120. Normal capacity, I think so, 2000. Correct, sir? And actual capacity is 1800. Now calculate the rate per hour. Check in the question how much are the overhead given. Is it 5,40,000? Read this. 5,40,000 is your total overhead. Perfect, guys? So tell me, calculate, Sarji. 5,40,000 divided by 2920. 5,40,000 divided by 2120. 5,40,000 divided by 2,000. 5,40,000 divided by 1,800. Yes, Saji. In the first row, what will be the answer? 5,40,000 divided by 2920. Is it your rate comes to 184.9315? 5,40,000 divided by 2120. Your answer comes to Prabhu. Yes, Saji. 254.72 approximately. 5,40,000 divided by 2,000. 270. Sarji, 5,40,000 divided by 18,000, 1,800. Is it 300, guys? Yes or no? Now, ideal capacity. Ideal capacity, always compare actual. So, 2920 minus actual capacity is 1,800. In the second row, practical capacity 2120, actual capacity is 1,800. Third row, 2,000 minus 1,800, and last row, 1,800 minus 1,800. Tell me how much is your ideal capacity if I use the maximum capacity, Sarji. 2920 divide minus 1800. Is it what? 1120? Second one, is it 320? Next one, is it 200? And 0. And last, we need to calculate ideal capacity cost. Ideal capacity cost is equal to 1120 ideal capacity multiplied by 184.9315. Then, Sarji, 320 idle hours multiplied by 254.72. 200 idle capacity multiplied by 270. 200 will be the answer. Whatever the answer. Yes, Sarji. So, this is how you will calculate idle capacity cost. Here you need to calculate rate for each capacity. Therefore, we divided budgeted overhead divided by that capacity. So calculated rate idle capacity into rate idle capacity cost. Next. Sarji, you'll have to solve one question which 2-3 questions are there in your module. Question is, everyone please concentrate. Boss, you work 8 hours a day on normal weekdays, 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Saturday. Okay, so weekly holiday, you work for only 6 days, 8 hours a day. Sorry, 5 days, Monday to Friday. You are going to work for 8 hours. On Saturday, you are going to work for 4 hours. Holiday and absenteeism 50, quarterly maintenance, quarterly maintenance 150 hours, quarterly maintenance 150 hours. Now you calculate, you'll have to calculate how much is your practical capacity. Calculate, Sarji. 8 hours a day on normal weekdays. On Saturday, only 4 hours. Holiday and absenteeism directly 50 days. Quarterly maintenance is 150 hours. Now you'll have to calculate how many effective hours are there with you. 1746. I've got one answer 1746. Let's check, Sarji. Gross working days. Online student, any answer? Yes, Sarji. Gross working days. Gross working days are 365. Correct, guys? Minus. Directly you'll have to deduct. What you'll have to deduct, Sarji? Sunday. You'll have to deduct Sunday 52. Then you'll have to deduct Saturday also. Because on Saturday only 4 hours are work. So we'll show Saturday separately. So 52 Saturday gone. Minus holiday gone. How many holiday gone, Sarji? You can check that. Is it 50 holidays are given? Sarji, please tell me weekly working days. Weekly working days means, Sarji, for 8 hours, how many days you are going to work? 365 minus 52 minus 52 minus 50. Is it 211 days? Next one, gross hours. Gross hours is equal to 211 days multiplied by 8 hours plus 52 Saturday multiplied by 4 hours. So how many gross hours will be there, Sarji? So 211 multiplied by 8 hours memory plus 52 multiplied by 4 memory plus memory recall. Is it 1896? And quarterly maintenance will be 150 hours. Quarterly maintenance will be 150 hours. So less quarterly maintenance. How much you have deducted quarterly maintenance? One student deducted 150 rupees. But it is a quarterly, na, Sarji. So per quarter 150 hours. So 150 multiplied by 4. Is it 600 hours gone? So how much will be your net effective hours? Your net effective hours will be 1296. Correct, sir? One more thing I'll tell you. One more thing I'll tell you. Yes, online student gave correct answer. Ekta. Yes. One more answer question I'll tell you. Sir, out of this 50 holiday, 5 holiday come on Saturday. Out of the 50 holidays, 5 holidays came on Saturday. Now, how to calculate, Sarji? Think on it. Is it 365 days are there? 50 to Sunday gone? 50 to Saturday gone? Now, only 45 days I will consider holiday. Why 45 days? Because already Saturday deducted. On Saturday also, Sarji, holiday was there. So, deducted. So, how many working days are there, Sarji? You can please tell me. Is it 216, na, Sarabi? Is it 216, Sarji? Or 211 only? 365 minus 52 minus 52 minus 45. Is it 216? Correct, guys? Now you'll have to tell me how much will be the gross hours, Sarji. Gross hours. Tell me, Sarji. Gross hours. Okay, time up. Time up, guys. Gross hours will be such 216 multiplied by 8 hours. Any doubt? Plus 4 hours multiplied by how many Saturday? Huh? Exactly 47. Why 47? Because out of 52, 5 days you are not working Saturday. So only 47 multiplied by 4. Anyone got the answer there? Is it 1916? Yes. Naksha, online student, gave also answer 1916. Correct na? 1916. Yes or no? So 1916 will be your correct answer. I hope so. This adjustment is clear to every one of you. Next part, last important part of this topic is Sarji, calculation of machine hour rate. So many students ask the doubt about this machine hour rate. Some student not clear about this machine hour rate. So in detail, I am going to explain this machine hour rate. Then we will solve two questions. Then topic will be over. Now, boys and girls, machine hour rate. Please concentrate. Suppose in your factory, in your production department, there are three machinery: machine 1, machine 2, machine 3, and you want to calculate rate for one machine only. Machine hour rate. What is the formula for machine hour rate? Kindly tell me, quickly tell me, sir. Machine hour rate. Budgeted overhead divided by budgeted machine hours. Now you will have to calculate rate of only first machine, not for second machine, not for third machine. Only first machine you will have to calculate overhead absorption rate, machine hour rate. Now please tell me what are the expenses relating to this machinery. First answer, sir. What are the expenses relating to the machinery? Suppose depreciation of the machinery. Correct, guys? Repairs and maintenance of the machinery, insurance of the machinery, consumable store, spare part, store, spare part, oil, grease, etc. of that machinery. Next one, Sarji, power cost of that machinery. Next one, electricity cost of the department. Electricity cost of the department, rent of the department, then salary of supervisor, machine operator salary, machine operator salary. Okay, so these are some example of the expenses. Now, boys and girls, all the expenses you'll have to divide into two part. First one will be your fixed expenses, which is also called as a standing charges. And second one will be your variable expenses, which is called as a running expenses of the machine. Standing charges means you are not using machine, still that expenses will continue, is called as a standing charges, fixed expenses. Running expenses means expenses which is required for actual running of the machine. Now you decide. I'll tell you one by one example, which are fixed and which are variable. You'll have to decide. Power cost. Power cost of that machinery, sir. Is it variable or it is fixed? Power cost is variable. Running expenses. Oil, grease, consumable stores. Variable, sir. Oil, grease, consumable store. One more, sir. Spare part replacement are variable. Next one. After that, please tell me next item, and the next item will be rent of the entire factory or rent of that department. Rent is a fix. Now, boys and girls, you'll have to decide. Most of the students make a mistake here. Rent of the department will be given. Rent of the cost center will be given. In this cost center, there are three equal machines. In this cost center, there are three equal machines. They will write in example. In this cost center, there are three equal machine. You want to calculate machine hour rate for machine number 1. Machine number 1 occupied 500 square feet of the area. Machine 2 occupied 200. And machine 3 occupied 300 square feet of the area. Now rent is 10,000. I want to calculate machine hour rate only for machine 1. How much rent will be applicable to that machine 1? Can you please tell me? How much it will be, sir? Calculator not required. Is it 5,000? Yes or no? So rent will be apportioned in the ratio of space occupied. Correct है क्या एकदम? Next one, sir ji, electricity example. Lighting, sir ji, lighting. lighting expenses, tube light and fan, etc. Remember, lighting expenses are not variable expenses. Lighting expenses are fixed expenses. Now, Sirji, lighting expenses will be apportioned in which ratio, sir? On yesterday's lecture, we have seen that lighting expenses in which ratio, sir? Number of light points. Now, it will be given in the question. Suppose lighting expenses are 600 and that machine is having 2 out of 10 light points. Machine number 1 is having 2 out of 10 light points. So, how much lighting expenses is applicable to this machine? 600 multiplied by 2 divided by 10. Sir, what will be your answer, guys? Please tell me. Is it 120 rupees? Are high na? Supervisor salary is given. Factory supervisor salary is given. Supervisor salary is 30,000 rupees per month. Supervisor salary is 30,000 rupees per month, and this supervisor devotes 1/6 of the time to machine 1. This supervisor devote only 1/6 time of to the machine number 1. So how much cost you will consider here? 30,000 multiplied by 1 by 6 into 12. If it is monthly, multiplied by 12, as the case may be. Correct, guys? 1/6 time is devoted, so take 1/6 only. So supervisor salary is also your fixed expenses. Depreciation, insurance will be your fixed expenses, provided if depreciation is given in years. Life of the asset is given in year. 10-year life, 5-year life, 12-year life. Then consider depreciation as a standing charges. Alternatively, if depreciation is dependent on hourly use, more you use, more it get depreciated, then it can be treated as a variable expenses. Is it clear to every one of you? So these are fixed expenses, these are variable expenses. One more next very important adjustment, and that adjustment is the operator's wages, where many students don't know how to write. Sarji, in the same example, there are three operator. There are three operator on each machine. There are three operator on each machine. How many machines in our example, sir? Three machines. On one machine, there are three operators. Salary per operator is 10,000 per month. Salary of the operator is 10,000 rupees per month. Please tell me how much will be the operator salary applicable to machine number 1. You'll have to calculate, Saji. Read carefully, sir. Read carefully. Everyone, please read carefully. Sarji, yes, correct. One machine, Sarji, one machine, there are three operators. Correct, guys? How many machines are there in your factory? Three machines. There are in all how many operators, Sarji? 9 operators. How much is the salary, Prabhu? How much is the salary? 10,000 multiplied by 9 multiplied by 12. All operator salary is 10 lakh 80,000. Correct? Are high na? Divided by 3 machines. Per machine will be 3 lakhs 60,000. Yes or no? If you have not understood this, I'll give one simple. One machine, how many operators? Wrong answer, na, sir? I have given wrong answer, right? Na? Or correct answer? Wrong answer I have written, I think so. Sarji, 3 operator on each machine. Let's see, Sarji. हाँ sir, बराबर है. I have given correct answer. I thought I have given wrong answer. Yes sir, correct है. 3 operator on each machine. Correct है sir, I am correct. हाँ. 3 operator on each machine. So if 3 operators are there on each machine, 10,000 per month multiplied by 12, your answer comes to 3 lakhs 60,000. Perfect answer, sir. But what if it is given in the question, 3 operators manages all 3 machines? Or I'll change, Sarji. There are 3 operators. Salary is 10,000 per month each. 3 operator operate 6 machines. 3 operator operates 6 machine. Yes, sir. Now calculate how much will be the operator wages. 3 operators are there. 10,000 per month is a salary, and 3 operator operate 6 machine totally, sirji, and I want cost per machine. What will be your answer, sirji? Chalo, let's calculate 3 operator ka wages. 3 operator multiplied by 10,000 multiplied by 12. Please tell me, sirji, how much is his 3 operator total wages? Is it 3,60,000? Divided by, sir, these 3 operator operate 6 machines. So divided by 6 machine. Per machine cost will be 60,000. Correct, guys? Very good online students also giving same answer, 60,000. So this operator adjustment is important. Now last adjustment, then we'll solve some practical questions, and which is very important, sir. Sir, while calculating machine hour rate, now we have seen all the expenses are divided into two parts: fixed expenses and running expenses, variable expenses. And machine hour rate formula is very simple: total overhead divided by total machine hours. Now let's see how to calculate that machine hours. Let's see how to calculate that effective hours. Sir, in question they will give total hours. In question they will give total hours are 2300, suppose. Out of 2300, maintenance hours are 200 and setup hours of the machinery is 100. Now, generally for setup hours, they will give one assumption in the question. First assumption is setup hours are unproductive. And second adjustment is setup hours are productive. First adjustment is setup hours are unproductive and second adjustment is setup hours are productive. Now you'll have to calculate effective hours. Boys and girls, please concentrate here. Every one of you. Everyone, please concentrate here. Maintenance hours are always unproductive. What you'll have to remember, Sarji? Maintenance hours are always. So always deduct. I'll give one situation where you will not deduct always. Otherwise, you'll have to deduct that maintenance hours. Always deduct that maintenance hours. Now, Prabhu, if setup hours are also not productive, unproductive, no production happens in that setup hours, then effective hours will be 2300 minus 200 minus 100. 2000 will be your effective hours. So you'll divide machine hour rate calculation by 2000. But if it is given in a question, yes, setup hours are productive, then effective hours will be 2300 minus 200 only. 2100 will be your setup hours. Correct, guys? Sorry, effective hours. Is it clear to every one of you? Next important point, Sarji. One question we have solved, which is written in that question. In that question, it is written that maintenance is carried on weekend when production is already halted. Maintenance is carried on weekend when production is already halted. Then what you will do, Sarji? Maintenance. You will deduct the maintenance from 2300 or you will not deduct 200 from 2300. Why you will not deduct? What I told you, when you complete the maintenance on Sunday, what's on Sunday? Why is on Sunday? Because Sunday already factory is closed. So there should be less interruption in production. That's why you complete the maintenance work on a weekend when there is already halt in a production. I'll give one example, Sarji. Sarji, if class is going on, can they clean this classroom? If class is going on, can they clean and maintain this classroom? Answer is no. Then what we'll have to do, Sarji? If they want to clean and maintenance during the class hours, what we'll have to do, Sarji? We all have to stop the our lecture. We'll have to go outside. Then they will clean and again we will go. Yes or no? But what if cleaning not done on daily class time? Cleaning is done on Sunday when there is no class. Then whether you need to deduct these 200, answer is no. One question is there in your, we have solved that one question where maintenance is done on the weekend. So in such situation, don't deduct that maintenance cost. Okay, sir. Let's move ahead. Let's solve practical question. Two practical questions are pending. Let's solve that practical question. Everyone please read fifth question. Fourth is also pending. Yes, we'll see that fourth really important question later. A machine costing rupees 1 crore is expected to run for 10 years. At the end of the period, its scrap value is likely to be 9 lakhs. Sir, please tell me life of the machine given in years, 10 years. Quickly tell me, Sirji. Depreciation will be standing charges or depreciation will be variable expenses? Standing charges. Yes, Sirji. So, how much will be the depreciation? I'll write that. Calculate the depreciation per annum. Per annum, please tell me, Sirji. 1 crore ka machinery. Residual value is 9 lakhs. Life is 10 years. Sirji, whether your answer is 9 lakh 10,000. So, Sirji, per annum, if I'm calculating per annum, I'll write Sirji per annum, Sirji. Okay. So, depreciation will be your fixed expenses. You told me 9 lakh 10,000. Correct, sir? Whatever monthly, we'll see it later. Next one. Repairs during the whole life of the machine are expected to be 18 lakhs. Sir, don't confuse. I told you repairs. Sir, whether they give repairs daily, repair weekly, repair monthly, repair annually, or life of the machinery, repair cost is a variable cost. So don't change your means answer. Or sir, repairs are given for the entire life. It's okay, sir. Repair cost is a variable cost. If it is given for entire life, divided by 10 years. So how much will be the Sirji, your annually repair? 18 lakhs divided by 10 years ki life, sir. Yes, Sirji. 18 lakhs divided by 10 years ki life. Sir, how much it will be? Is it 1 lakh 80,000? Okay, repairs cost I have written over there. Next one. The machine is expected to run for 4380 hours per year. There is no adjustment of setup. There is no adjustment of maintenance given. You are going to work for 4380 hours on an average. Electricity consumption is 15 units per hour. Rate of electricity is 5 rupees per unit. Calculate electricity expenses. Per hour, 15 units of electricity is used. Per hour, 15 units of electricity is used. You are going to work for 4380 hours. Multiplied by 15 units of electricity will be used. Rate of electricity is 5. Whether your answer is 328, 500, please check, Sirji. So electricity expenses 15 units into 5 multiplied by how many hours it is given, Sirji? 4,000? 4380. Yes, Sirji, 4380. So please tell me, sir, is it 3,28,500 is your answer? Are yes or no? Next one. Okay, sir. Let's move ahead. Machine occupies 1/4 of the area of the department. So if rent is given for this machinery, how much rent is applicable? Is it 1/4? Next one. 2 light points out of total 10 light points. So lighting expenses will be apportioned to this machine. Is it 2 by 10? The foreman has devoted about 1/6 of the time to this machinery. So whatever the foreman salary, you'll have to divide by 6. Yes, sir. Monthly rent is 10,000. Let's calculate, Sirji. If your monthly rent is 10,000, so 10,000, sorry, 30,000, sir. 30,000 multiplied by 12 month multiplied by 1/4 area occupied by this machine. 30,000 into 12 divided by 4. Prabhu, your answer comes to 90,000, Sirji. Okay. Next one. After that, lighting charges are 8,000 per month. Sirji, 8,000 per month multiplied by 12 month. 2 light point out of 10 light point only applicable to this machinery. So, Sirji, 8,000 multiplied by 12 multiplied by 2 divided by 10. Is it 19,200? Yes or no? Next one. After that, they have given information. Foreman ka salary 19,200. Prabhu, 19,200 multiplied by 12. Sir, foreman is devoting how much time to this machine? Is it 1/6? So divided by 6, 38,400. 38,400 is your annual expenses. Next one. Sirji, one more expenses is given. Which is next expenses, Sirji? Is it insurance? How much is the insurance? 1%. So 1 crore multiplied by 1%. Is it 1 lakh rupees? Purposefully, I have taken this example. This example is of your module. Wrongly, they have taken oil. Sirji, one oil expenses are given. Yes or no? How much is the oiling expenses? Is it 900 per month? What I told you, Sarji, oil, grease, consumables, or any component replacement, this will be treated as a variable cost and not as a fixed cost. Sir, you can check your module. They have prepared the list of variable expenses, they have prepared the list of fixed expenses, and oil is specifically written into the variable. So wrongly they have taken this. That's why I have taken this example. So, Sarji, that oil expenses always will be written as a variable expenses. So how much is the oil expenses per month? I think so it is given. How much it is per month? 900 per month. So 900 per month oil expenses multiplied by 12 months, is it 10,800? Yes or no? So done, Sarji. You will take a total divided by effective hours. Sir, how much is the total? 9 lakh 10,000 plus 90,000 plus 19,200 plus 38,400. Sarji, your answer comes to 10 lakh 57,600. Correct, guys? Insurance not added. So it will be 11 lakh 57,600. Correct now? Please check, Sarji. Total check, Sarji. Is it 11 lakh 57,600 divided by 4380 effective hours? Sir, what is the machine hour rate formula? Total overhead divided by machine hours. So divided by 4380 machine hours. Sarji, your answer comes to 264.2922. Yes or no? Take a total of that variable expenses, Sarji. Variable expenses will be 10,800, 1,80,000, 328, 500. I think so. 5,19,300. Yes or no? Divided by 4380 hours. So 118.5616 plus 264.2922. Your answer comes to 382.86 approximately is your answer. So remember, guys, remember this format: standing charges, variable expenses to be written separately, and sometimes they will ask calculate comprehensive rate. Which rate? Comprehensive rate. There is one question of in your module also, and I have also taken that question in our notes. Sir, while calculating comprehensive rate, no need to bifurcate into variable cost and fixed cost. No need to bifurcate into variable cost and fixed cost. Continuously, any expenses, take a total, directly divide, you will get the machine hour rate. Correct, guys? Last adjustment, then we'll solve that remaining one question, which is very important. Then we'll stop, sir. And this adjustment is truly important adjustment. Sarji, suppose 2300 hours are given. Maintenance hours are 200 hours, but maintenance is done on weekend. Maintenance hours are done on weekend when already production is halted. Surgery setup hours are 100 and it is given in the question setup hours are unproductive. First of all, tell me how many effective hours are there. I don't want wrong answer. Setup hours are unproductive and maintenance, generally maintenance are always unproductive. But what I have written, Sarji, during the weekend when already production is halted, you complete the maintenance. So your main hours are not affected by these maintenance hours. Yes, Saji. I want answer, Saji. How many effective hours are there? 2000? 2000? Are you sure 2200? Correct answer. Why you have not deducted 200? Weekend. So production is not hampered. Hence don't deduct. Why you deducted 100? Unproductive. Production not done. Is it clear, guys? And next part, fully concentrate here. Read this amazing adjustment, sir. What I have given there. Huh. During the working hours and setup hours, machine consume 60 units of electricity. During the maintenance hours, 10 units of electricity is consumed and rate is 15 rupees per unit of electricity. Calculate power expenses, calculate electricity expenses. You'll have to calculate, sir. Tell me what will be the electricity expenses. I'll give you some time to think. You'll have to answer. Yes, any answer? Anyone? 20? 21 lakhs. Close but wrong, I think so. Chali, time up, guys. How many hours machine is working? Is it 2200 hours? Multiplied by 60. Why multiplied by 60? Saji, during the working hours, 60 units of electricity is consumed. Plus, how many setup hours are there? Saji, 100. During the setup hours also, how much electricity is consumed? Is it 60 units? Plus, during the maintenance also, electricity is consumed. Sir, how many maintenance hours are there? Is it 200? In the 200 hours also 10 units of electricity is consumed. So these are the electricity units consumed multiplied by rate per unit is 15 rupees. Check how much will be the answer, guys. Calculate and tell me, Sarji. 2200 multiplied by 60 memory plus 100 multiplied by 60 memory plus 200 multiplied by 10 memory plus memory recall multiplied by 15. Yes, Sarji. How much it is? 20? Anyone told me this answer? You told. Very good. Correctness, Sarji, 21 lakhs. So this adjustment was check, Sarji. I have done very fast, so I don't know whether it is correct or not. So during machine is working, 2200 hours machine is working, 60 units of electricity will be consumed. Sarji, 100 hours are your setup hours. In that also 60 units of electricity are consumed, and they have given during the weekend maintenance also 10 units of machinery will be 10 units of electricity will be required. So into 15 rupees is the rate of the electricity per unit. So 21 lakh will be your answer. Okay, so this was really important adjustment. And last, most important question of this topic we are going to solve. Most important question. Literally 10, 12 times this question is repeated in examination. An engineering company, the factory overhead are recovered at the fixed percentage on direct wages. Underline, Sarji, what it is written? Fixed overhead. Yes, Sarji. Sorry, factory overhead recovered on a percentage of wages. Administration overhead are recovered as a percentage on factory cost. Company has furnished the following data: job 101, 102, direct wages, but direct material, selling price, profit percentage on cost, 10% and 20% on cost. On cost, be careful, on cost required. Computation of the percentage recovery rate of factory overhead and administration overhead. Calculate amount of factory overhead, administration overhead and profit for each two job. And calculate the selling price of the job number 103. Sir, again read the first paragraph. What is that first paragraph? Again read, sir. What is the factory overhead rate? What is the factory overhead rate, sir? Read. What is the factory overhead rate? Some percentage of direct wages, correct? We don't know the percentage. Administration overhead. some percentage of the factory cost. So guys, I will assume, yes Saji, I will assume that factory overhead rate as X, factory overhead rate as X, and administration and selling overhead as a Y. Check how much is the direct material, sir. Kindly tell me, sir. This question is there in your module, I think so. Yes or no? Yes, sir. Please tell me how much is the direct material. 54,000 in the first column, second column. 37,000. Okay, sir. 37,500. How much is the direct wages? 42,000 in the second scenario. 30,000. Direct material plus direct wages will be your prime cost. Is it 96,000 in the first column and 67,500 in the second column? Factory overhead rate we don't know. We assume it as a X percentage of direct wages. So is it 42,000 X? And is it 30,000 X? Factory overhead rate is some percentage of the direct wages. So we assume that rate as a X. So tell me how much will be the factory cost. Factory cost will be 42,000 X plus 96,000. In the second column, it will be 30,000 X plus 67,500. Next part, add administration overhead. We have assumed that administration overhead is Y percentage of factory cost. So, Sarji, multiplied Y by this bracket, Sarji. Your answer will be 42,000 XY plus 96,000 Y. What will be the second bracket over there, Sarji? Y percentage of the factory cost. So, 30,000 into XY plus 67,500 Y. Correct, guys? Now, how much will be the total cost? Sarji, in the total cost, you'll have to add these two figures. Sarji, factory cost add administration overhead is equal to total cost. So, I'll write 42,000 X plus 42,000 XY plus 96,000 Y plus 96,000. I have used format X, XY, Y, normal equation format. Then in the second equation, I'll write there 30,000 X plus 30,000 XY plus 67,500 Y plus 67,500. Barobar hai, guys? Now, sales is given in the question, Sarji. How much is the sales given in the question? You can read that question. 166,650. Correct, guys? In the first scenario, 166,650 in the first scenario, and in the second scenario, sales is given 128,250. 128,250. Now, this question I think so I have given for homework. Some students solve this wrong because the question which I have solved in classroom, profit percentage on sales given. But in this question, I have purposefully made the changes. Profit percentage on total cost is 10% and 20%. Concentrate here. Yes, sir. Suppose my total cost is 100, profit will be 10 rupees, sales will be 110. Correct, guys? Now, please tell me how much will be my total cost. 1,66,650 is my sales, which is 110 multiplied by 100. Sir, please tell me how much is my total cost. Kindly calculate. 166,650 divided by 110 multiplied by 100. Is it 151,500? Correct, guys? In the second scenario, profit is given how much? 20% on cost. Saji, 20% on cost is equal to 16.67% on sales. Are hai na? You can check that, Saji. 128,250 multiplied by 16.6666666667 percentage. Your answer will come to, and minus, your answer will come to 1,06,875. Now, Prabhu, concentrate here. Here you have total cost. Here also you have total cost. Now equate these two equations and tell me what will be the equation, Sarji. 42,000 X plus 42,000 XY plus 96,000 Y plus Saji, I'll do one thing. I'll not waste my time in examination. I will directly shift this 96,000 to the right hand side. So 151,500 minus 96,000. My answer comes to 55,500. Next equation I am going to prepare, Prabhu. 30,000 x plus 30,000 xy plus 67,500y is equal to, sir, I'll save my time. I'll directly shift 1,06,875 minus 67,500. Is it 39,375? Now, how to solve this equation, sir? How to solve this equation? Now, equation you'll have to solve. Simple. Sir, here also 30,000, here also 30,000. Here also 42,000, here also 42,000. Yes or no? So, you'll have to make common this thing. So, simple. Tell me, 42,000 divided by 30,000. Is it 1.4? Are high na? So, I will multiply second equation by 1.4. I will multiply second equation by 1.4. Kindly tell me what will be my second equation, Prabhu. 30,000 into 1.4. Is it 42,000 x? 30,000 xy into 1.4. Is it 42,000 xy? 67,500 into 1.4. Is it 94,500? Y is equal to 39,375 multiplied by 1.4. Sir, is 55,125? Are high na? Now, Sirji, I will equate first and this third equation. I will equate that first and that third equation minus, 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 minus. Sirji, 42,000x, 42,000x cancel. XY, XY cancel. You will get only 1,500. Why, Prabhu? 1,500 is equal to, sir, 375 is your answer. 55,500 minus 55,125, 375. Therefore, y ka value is equal to 375 divided by 1500. Sir, is it 0.25? That is 25%. What was our y? Y was our administration overhead. Administration overhead is 25% of factory cost. 25% of factory cost. Now substitute this y ka value in any one of the equation and get the value of x. Suppose 42,000x plus 42,000x into 0.25y, 96,000y into 0.25 is equal to 55,500. So 42,000x plus 10,500, I think so. Check, sir. 42,000 into 0.25. Is it 10,500? 96. So 24,000 is equal to 55,500. Now it will be 52,500x is equal to 55,500 minus 24,000 divided by 52,500. Sir, directly my x ka value comes to 0.60. Yes or no? 0.60 means that my factory overhead is 60% of direct wages. Correct, guys? Now easily I can calculate, very easily I can calculate, guys, this cost of the job. Now easily everything I have, material cost, labor cost I have, and I can calculate the selling price of that job. Read the third question. Tell me, in that job how much is the material cost? 103 job. Third question, Sirji. 24,000 is a material cost. Labor cost 20,000. Material plus labor is equal to prime cost. Is it 44,000? Now factory overhead, we have already calculated factory overhead rate is the 60% of the direct wages. 60% into 20,000, is it 12,000? Your factory cost will be, sorry, 56,000. Administration overhead, we have calculated 25% of the factory cost. So the chuk chappan, 14,000. Total cost will be, Sarji, is it 70,000? Read question. In the question, profit percentage are given. Profit percentage on selling price is 12.5%, 12.5%. everyone please concentrate. 12.5%. I'll give you shortcut to you. Sarji, everyone concentrate. Sales, profit, and cost. If profit percentage on sales given, I will assume sales as 100. Profit percentage is 12.5% of sales. It will be 12.5. So my cost will be 87.5. So simple, divide 70,000 divided by 87.5 percentage, or 87.5 multiplied by 100. You will get the total sales figure. 70,000 divided by 0.875. Your answer comes to 80,000. Correct, guys? Cross check, Sarji. 80,000 multiplied by 12.5%. Your answer comes to 10,000. 80,000 minus 10,000. Your answer will comes to 70,000. Yes, sir. So these are all important concept and all important questions we have solved of this overhead topic. In the next lecture, we are going to cover one lecture will be sufficient for that activity based costing. Very important topic. We are going to cover everything, means that topic will be covered in the class only, in the 1 hour or 1 hour 15-20 minutes class. No need to study at home. So thank you so much, guys. See you in the next lecture.